So your album, Attention, Attention, it came out almost about a year and a half ago.
Yes.
And since then, you guys have been touring nonstop, pretty much.
Yes.
There's no break in between. So just going by your Instagram and your social media sites, you guys are very focused on your health and fitness.
Mm-hmm.
What are the other secrets to being able to maintain that energy level touring for a year and a half?
Phew. You got to eat good most of the time. I mean, obviously, a slice of pizza every once in a while is going to happen, but you got to eat good, and caffeine, lots of caffeine. Honestly, I think you're either made for the road or you're not.
Right.
A lot of people wouldn't be able to do what we do, but if you're made for touring, it's just, this is our job, this is what we do. So I don't know any different, or if there's any secrets to it aside from, we're getting maybe a little bit older, but we're not going to allow it to happen, and we pride ourselves on putting on an entertaining show and a higher energy show. So we work out. I work out every single day. As soon as I get done with this interview, I'm going to work out before the show, and I think that really has helped us and helped our stamina for the show.
And you mentioned earlier coffee.
Coffee.
I saw that you and a friend.
Yeah, Spartan Brewers. Yep, Spartan Brew Coffee. A friend of mine, he just said, "Hey, you want to do coffee?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I like coffee, so let's do that." No, I worked as a barista in college, so I've got a history of coffee and coffee knowledge, and it's in its infancy still. We're kind of taking it slow. I'm out here, obviously, very busy. He's a retired Army and is getting his law degree right now, so he's busy, and it's just the two of us. So we're taking it slow. We'll put a big push behind it in a couple of years.
Okay, as far as flavors go, like, where do you draw your inspiration from? I guess, like.
As far as whatever tastes good, honestly. Yeah, whatever tastes good, whatever roast comes out the way we want it. I don't particularly. We sell a couple flavored coffees, but that's for people that like flavored coffees. Myself, particularly, I don't. I like a good medium roast. So the ground pounder is probably my favorite of our line, of our selection.
Okay. What do you think is the biggest sin when it comes to coffee? Like, some people add like 5 sugars. Half milk,
Right. I prefer mine black because I like the taste of coffee, but I don't think there's a sin as long as you're enjoying it. There's so many flavors and stuff. It's like, I don't like flavored beers, but some people like fruit in their beers. That's up to them. I think as long as you have coffee, there's no sin. I'm not a purist in that way. Okay. As long as you're enjoying yourself, who cares?
Okay. I'm going to go back to the album.
Mm-hmm.
You have writing credits for the song Creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little about how that song came to be?
Sure. So the reason I even have a writing credit on is we were in the studio, and that was kind of an idea, and we had demoed it out, but it didn't even have drums on it. It was more of a orchestral thing with the vocals, and it really didn't. Lyrically, we really knew that song needed to be done, but we couldn't figure out it needed something else. And we're sitting in the studio, and Brent's like, "Man, just go in there and play some drums for it." I said, "All right, I'm just going there and play what I feel," and I did. And about 3 takes later, it completely changed the song into what it is now. So really adding the drums and the things I did on there brought the song to life. So that's why I have writing credit on it. I'm not a songwriter. I'm a drummer. I don't play a melodic instrument, so I don't really write in that way. That's more the other guys. So it was kind of a fun experience to be such a part of that song at that time.
One thing I like to do is just with the song titles on the album,
Mm-hmm.
I like to use those song titles and create questions from them.
Okay, that's it. Cool. That's interesting.
So there's a song called Entrance. Well, it's the first song.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were a professional wrestler, what would be your entrance theme?
Ooh, that's good.
If it was a Shinedown song, and if it was another artist?
Probably Devil, if it's a Shinedown song. And if it was another artist, let me think.
Pressure is on.
Probably March of the Pigs by 9 Inch Nails. And that'd be it.
Okay. So you also have Creatures.
Mm-hmm.
So what is one of the weirdest creature experiences while you've been on tour? Like some random animal crossing paths?
Probably the weirdest one. We used to, and we still we'll have a dog rescue places bring puppies out for a day so everybody can kind of get some puppy love and things like that. But one day I show up and we're in Nashville, and I go into my dressing room, and there's a wallaby in my dressing room. So that was probably the strangest thing. This woman had a pet wallaby that she actually carried around in one of those slings, like a baby sling. It'd just sit there and she'd hang out, and then she'd let it go out, and we could hang out with her Wallaby. I forget the name of it, but we hung out with him, and he pooped everywhere. They poop like rabbits, just constantly pooping. But it was really cool. So that was probably the strangest thing I've ever seen on tour.
Very random. Okay. You had the song Evolved.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have been a band for a very long time.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
It doesn't look like it. You're very young, you know.
Yeah, I won't tell you how old I really am. I hide it.
It's the lighting.
Yes, it's all the lighting.
So how do you think you guys have evolved over the years?
We've changed a lot. The band has gone through some changes over the years. I think we've become better musicians and songwriters with each record. We don't make the same record twice, and you can kind of hear that in our evolution, but I think they've gotten better. Like, Attention is my personal favorite of the records we've done. And I think what's happened with the band is we've gotten better as a band and as a group of people, gone are the party days, that kind of stuff. Brent's clean and sober, which is a great thing. We're a little more open, and I think we're tighter now as a knit and as brothers than we ever have been. So I think that's probably the best evolution of this band, and the way we get along now is probably what I love so much. Probably why we're still here. We still get along. We still ride on the same bus together.
Right.
We still go out to dinner together, so that's a big deal for us.
Okay. I saw that you also started a campaign with DC Strong,
Mm-hmm.
raising money for children's cancer awareness.
Yes.
How did you guys get involved with that?
That happened years ago when we found out about it, and Dustin was still alive, who was he started that foundation, and he was a cancer survivor. He had cancer since I don't want to screw up the story completely, but since he was a kid, and he had gone through many stages in remission, and he'd come back, and remission and come back, and he finally passed about a year or so ago, a year and a half ago, unfortunately. But he had a good life, and he was a fighter. He was always positive, no matter what. Even when he was sick and not feeling good, he was just positive. And he started the foundation, him and his friends, his best friends, and that's what kind of started. And he would raise stuff, and he'd go visit kids with cancer, and bring them a bunch of toys. It's not a make-a-wish, it's like, hey, we're just going to have a really great day today, and we're going to bring you toys and stuff that you're into, that the kid's into. And he'd go visit because he could relate. He was a kid with cancer who grew up and still had cancer, and he very relatable. So, and meeting him, he met us at a show because he was a huge fan, and that's what spurred the relationship. That was his gift that his friends got him. And since then it has grown and created a relationship, and we like to help out. We also do a lot of stuff with St. Jude as well. Keeping the innocence of kids is probably my top priority in life, and that I had a great childhood, and I like to give back in that way. So that's why.
And well, you guys have just started this leg of the tour.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are going to continue Canada, US, and then after that you guys are going to go to Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, you've been on the road for a year and a half.
Yes.
The next question is going to be, what happens after that? Is there more touring? Back in the studio?
A little bit of both. So we'll finish out this year. We get back, I think, from Europe on December 22nd, so right before Christmas. We're going to take January and February completely off and rest our bones. And then we'll start the writing process for the next record, whatever that's going to be. And there will be some limited touring next year, but most of it will be writing and then eventually recording whatever's going to be next, because we don't really write on the road that much. Eric's moving his studio, so that's got to get done so we can work there and that kind of thing. So there's a lot to be done in a very short period of time. As always, we never rest. So even though we won't be touring as much next year, we'll be working.